It's already shared. One second. Able to see my screen?
Not yet, Jenkins.
Okay. Shall I start or?
Yeah, we can start. We can start.
One second. Okay. Hi everyone. Good morning. Everyone meeting in the SharePoint 25 birthday. This is a really important year for SharePoint. Okay. So really happy to see Pune Tech community doing a very big event for sharing the SharePoint journey here. And they gave an opportunity to share myself here about the SharePoint. It's a honest to share here, and I'm happy to say you people are in the journey, right? SharePoint. I hope everyone part of SharePoint already with the agents, teams. Before that, we have a on-premises environment. I'll give some history about SharePoint initially. Then we'll start with some Copilot and everything. Okay. The reason I'm saying because my journey start from very early with the SharePoint. Okay, that's introduce myself. First, I'll share my knowledge in different community. Apart from that, myself is a modern workplace solution architect and consultant. I'm an international speaker, author, and trainer. Recently, I did my session in Ignite, and I regularly sharing my sessions in every event. Mostly people are aware of me, but I'm not sure. Somebody new to me. You know about me, myself is a M365 and Copilot MEP. And also I'm a specialist in Teams, Power Platform, SPF. Because of this, all surrounded with M365, right? My career started with 2003. First, initially, I worked as a Visual Basic developer. I hope people are aware of, had about it, Visual Basic 6. It's a very old version. From there, Microsoft started with .NET. Okay, that's I just lightly moved to .NET. That's the time I first my got my project with SharePoint is SharePoint to Server 2003. That's the second version of SharePoint. Okay, that time that is my starting in 2005 SharePoint. Year 2005, I'm starting with SharePoint 2003. That's the WSS 3.0. That's a give some introduction about the versions and how it evolved. That's the content management, how it's introduced as a content management. Before that, how it's a cloud as a site. SharePoint, not a content management system initially. It's the first version is a site server. That time, if a dynamic site is a big challenge when you are in 95, 96 like that, right? I believe that's a web starting era. Okay, there's a websites, Java web server, .NET servers like that. They are introduced a new sites. Microsoft introduced with the name of site server. That is the first version before SharePoint. That is not a SharePoint. They consider that is the site server. Okay, that's the firstly they worked with the site server is nothing but another dynamic website. Okay, nowadays we have huge number of websites in uh, websites we are creating with any technology. Right? That time that itself is a big challenge because of everyone move from the Windows applications. Before that, more on Windows application, people are less to start with web-based applications. They are that time Microsoft bring inside the site server. That's a Commerce Edition. That's it. Nowadays Exchange Edition, right? Same thing. Before that is a Commerce Edition. Then from 2000 to 2001, they introduced the first version. They called as WSS 1.0. Okay, that is a Windows SharePoint service, including with the Windows server. Nowadays, we see Windows servers and Windows personal editions, right? Like our ESP, then we have now we have a Windows servers or different because of whenever requests are now people are not talking about much on servers. The reason is we are in cloud. Okay, right? We are using cloud. That's the reason we are not installing or setting it. That time, whatever you're doing, we need to plan for the server and everything. These are different versions start from 99 to 2007. Okay, that's an early stage of SharePoint. Okay, up to 2007, SharePoint is not a very big thing, not like that. It's a very small thing. People are very much, very less. Like if we found developers like 1 lakh developers, we found 1 or 2 SharePoint developers. That's very rare. And people start using also very small amount of team. That's the reason. When I start my SharePoint first project, I don't know how to create a web part because web part is not creating like just a drag and drop like that. We need to create a separate DLL file from .NET. Then we create a DWP file, and then you can integrate. Then it's all we develop using the Notepad. It's not Visual Studio also. That's the stage we started with the SharePoint. Okay, that's a very old starting stage, right? The first version, early 2001, they introduced as a SPFS 1 in the top of in WSS 3.0. That's a Windows SharePoint server. It is free of cost with coming with Windows as a WSS 2.0. Only it is a portal. That started with this is the detailed version part, SharePoint Portal 2001. First released with Portal Server 2001. Then they say Steam Services for collaboration and with WSS 1.0. After that, my version is started with SharePoint 3. Okay, that's a SharePoint, Microsoft Office SharePoint Portal 2003. Initially, I was little worried about this Office, this name is. So when he started my project, I concerned with my manager, why you are assigning Office product instead of, because I worked in the .NET, suddenly they say I'm moving to serverless. Really scared why that. Then only I realized that it's the biggest scope. Starting with when you starting seriously SharePoint, I not realized this much big thing is going to happen, and my career whole is SharePoint. Okay, that started in 2003. That's the Office SharePoint portal 2003, and same time we work with WSS 2.0. What's the WSS 2.0? Whatever SharePoint version we are releasing, that time nowadays we are getting three trial versions and everything, right? That time everything installing in our machines, right? Then every Windows server, they have a free of cost. They introduce with WSD. You need to install. That's it. You can just download and install, or you can get a CD copy or something like that. You can install and make it a server in your desktop. Okay, that's not laptops, not that days. We have all desktops. When you install with the server version, okay, we have a Windows ND server or Windows 2000 server like Windows 2000 is so popular after SharePoint introduced. Most of the people use that days Windows SharePoint 2003. Then we started with SharePoint 2000. That's the biggest vast change in the industry happened is March 2007. Up to that, what's the difference with March 2007? When you go here, just before saying, you can see the left hand side. We have Microsoft introduced the MCMS, Microsoft Content Management System. That one introduced, we integrated with Masters with the 2003. We have a SharePoint portal. They have a list libraries as a little small level. They integrated the MCMS. MCMS is a separate product. In 2003, we used MCMS is a separate product, and 2003 is separate product. They introduced is the same. You heard about publishing sites, right? That is news channels use SharePoint for publishing that channel newses, editing the newses, reviewing the news. That part we can start using Master 2007. Before that, they have a Microsoft Content Management System, the same CMS. Okay. Then they integrated. That's the main thing they integrated here with the Excel services, content types, the SharePoint designer. Before that, we have a front page, Microsoft front page to design the UI part. Now, after that, they introduced SharePoint designer. SharePoint designer is introduced in first is with March 2007. Some of them had about right in 2013, in 2016 we are using designer. That the same thing they introduced in with masters. That's a long gap. That's the biggest thing is 2007 they introduced and integrated with many products and make it as a master. Master is also again Microsoft Office SharePoint portal server 2007. Okay, that's that time the only Microsoft changed their content management system era because market we have huge number of content management system. Now also you think about we can say slide Slack Java web server I think so web server like that Oracle apps like that huge number of content management systems are there but still SharePoint is in the peak. The reason is that time itself end user point of view SharePoint is more flexible and easy to use like that. That's the reason everyone prefer to use SharePoint and they started from March 2000. The best thing is coming to previous version, the UI part is UI version, right? When you say HTML, CSS, everything, very less into this look and feel is not happy. People are writing templates, not enough, bring the best version of SharePoint like that. When master zone, after designer introduced, we have a master pages, we have a site template, we have a site definition. This all newly introduced in 2007. And from there onwards, SharePoint is running like a anything else. Because before that, we found that I think 0.5% of customer using SharePoint. From March 2007, it looked like a 70-80%. Okay. That's the era which started with 2007. Okay. After that, another big change is 2010. 2010 is nothing but 2007 is, I told, right? It's huge of integrations with another versions of Excel services, BDS, MCMS, like that, SQL Server, and everything we can integrate it. But when it coming to SharePoint 2010, it's first they introduced with the designing part more in Bootstrap type with the mobile version, but because of mobile versions are introducing. That time no mobile apps that much, but mobile people are using the websites in mobiles. That's the reason UI everything in big. Now also there no online version, everything intranet version only. You can able to access the application from internet only. That's still you can need to install in the server. You need to plan. This is a 2010 era. Okay. After that, it start with 2013. That 2013 is again is a big change because we called every web parts is the web parts to apps, right? The apps version is introduced. There, another thing is now Office 365 also introduced. Because the side by side Office 365, people are started using a hybrid model. What is hybrid model? People use some of the things, what are the public data to share outside of their organization, then they push to Office 365. They have a public version. And we have a whatever the restricted version they maintain in the server. In up to that whatever 2010 2010 that's a these era is very big for industry changing SharePoint because of lot of migration happen because of people are prefer to move 2013 and also hybrid model to do all the SharePoint application. Now the 2010 and 2013 Microsoft SharePoint resources are huge much increased. Not you can't compare that much they changed that because of 2010 at March 2000 is the biggest era to change the industry state. Everyone talk about SharePoint. 2010 it's again is a big change in the UI and everything. 2013 they're talking about apps and introducing with the internet. Okay, that's it. You think about it now, SharePoint is always a collaborating. SharePoint, the base is always same. The architecture, 2003 to 2007 is changed. After that, they not change the base architecture. 2003, there's a framework 1.1 like that, Share or .NET framework 1.1 they used. After that, 2.0 introduced with .NET, you know that. After 2.0 .NET framework introduced, I think not much changes. Everything is a add-on, like MVC add-on, like that, Microsoft introduced a new core, MVC core or everything. With the .NET, everything is a add-on only, not a old structure change. Okay, 2001 .NET Framework 1 or 1.1, it's migrated to 2.0, like a total architecture change. That's the reason it's now it's not change anything, but everything integrating. Now we are moving to on-premises to online. After that, you think about up to on-premises, the web parts is there. We create web parts in our server to deploy. That's always depend with server. We deploy it and bring it. It's a server-side web parts. And also we use Camel queries. I think people heard about it. Nowadays we are not using that much. Camel queries. We have a Camel builder to get the read the data and share it the external applications like that. We have a lot of options. Then 2010 onwards, they are introducing APIs to access the SharePoint data from outside. Now we are having REST API, and now we have a Graph API also, right? After Office 365 introduced, we have a Graph API also. Before that, we have a REST APIs. We can access the data. 2013 and Office 3 that time only the API, REST APIs, no Graph API introduced. That is purely a REST API, and we can access the hybrid model. Our data will go with Office 365 and SharePoint like that. We can whatever data you want to publish in Office 365, you can able to push it. The index we have a two minds. One is without hybrid search. That means all happen separately. Once you hybrid, it happens from the cloud and the indexing without sharing any data in the public. That's the main intention from introducing the hybrid model. After that, we have a huge change in the market, right? After 2013, SharePoint version, you see the difference, huge. Because I started my version in October 12, releasing itself. I'm working with SharePoint 2013. Then suddenly Microsoft introduced OneDrive for business, Office Dell, Office Graph in 2014. Okay. In 2014, once they are introduced, people are fine to move. Other than banking domains and healthcare domains, they are everyone right to plan to move SharePoint. Because of the banking and healthcare, they have another version called BCS SharePoint. Okay, something like same online version, but something specific to the customer like that. Microsoft introduced with that with a dedicated server like that. Okay, then purely Office 365 version introduced, and we started with OneDrive, Office Delve, everything integrated. Now SharePoint servers are going down. Okay, you can see, go and see SharePoint server 26. How much people are using SharePoint server 26 compared to 2030? It look like a 40%. Suddenly, no people are working with SharePoint 13. After migrated to new version, normally happened 2016, right? But it's not happened. Everyone moving to SharePoint Online. Okay, the same to justify. But the another big challenge in SharePoint Online is we don't have option to develop a web part. Because of that's the online version. Up to that, Microsoft not supported any open sources. You remember that before to February 2017, Microsoft not supported any open sources like JavaScript or whatever it is. We have everything support with .NET. Okay, we have the .NET, VB.NET or C#, data like that. There's a lot of restriction with that. From that, 2000, after 2016 only, Microsoft ready to open their hand and coming with the open source. That is SharePoint framework. The SharePoint framework is a huge versions are there. Then we can start after that. I believe nowadays people are know that 2017 is just 7, 8 years before, right? Sorry, 6, 8, 9 years before. Okay, people are know about SharePoint framework. Then SharePoint introduced, Microsoft Teams introduced, Microsoft Viva, Microsoft List, like that. People are introducing new things, right? Microsoft bringing new stuffs are there. From 27 only the teams are introduced. Okay, that's a Microsoft team introduced. Same time before that, SPF is introduced. Because of a parts they are required. Teams is nothing but without SharePoint, no teams, right? In the bottom we have a teams. Okay, that's the main invention. Before that, SharePoint is the biggest difference in SharePoint, old SharePoint and new SharePoint. Okay. When you coming to where we come from, everyone knows that before that we are in on-premises session. All projects look like a SharePoint site. We have a subsites. Inside we have a list, libraries, pages, subsites. Again, subsites like this look like a tree structure inside there. Okay, that's the biggest challenge happen when you come moving to online. When you are in a offline, like say on premises, nothing issues because it's not based on the URL, right? URL, how much the size of URLs doesn't matter. When you moving to, that's now it's the size is biggest difference in the URL. Now, olden days we have adding any query string is big challenge. It's because of the size limit. You have a 256 character only support in URL. Now it's all changed. That time, when you coming to this time, whenever you say creating site, subsite like that, you are creating 1,000 subsites also it support in the on-premise version. When you go online, the searching is very difficult. Finding the folder is very difficult like that. Biggest that's a structure look like tree structure. When you move into modern experience, when you are after Microsoft 365 introduced, they started modern experience. Now SharePoint 29 also using modern experience and SharePoint online, another SharePoint server online, right? That also using modern experience. In modern experience, what is the different change? Okay, before that we see everything is a site collection, site like that. Now the modern site they introduce with the flat architecture. I hope everyone use now flat architecture. The flat architecture introduced again is a big challenge people are faced. The reason is flat architecture. What is a flat architecture? Because every site creation that is a site collection. Before that, we have a big challenge is one site collection to another site collection. If you want to access, that also biggest process in the authorization, authentication. Okay. Now, after modern has been introduced, not like that, you can able to access any site collection from anything. But that's the limitation is without having a sub-site. For example, I have a department of HR. The HR under that we have a policy section, hiring section, like that they have a different. Or you can go for the sales. You can say sales report, yearly report, regional, like that we have a different architecture introduced in the flat architecture. But we need to integrate it. That's a Microsoft coming with 2028. I think the hub sites are introduced like this. We have any sites, you can able to see like this. Okay, we have set of sites. That's the same team. All our site collections, but they bring us the same team. We can able to bring using this hub site, and you can able to make it. That's the first time they connect with the hubs connector related to the related sites and make it unique. Same like olden days idea, we can implement with the same flat architecture. And what is the benefit of flat arch? Because you can easily get the data. So it's fast search and every getting all the data and bring, because hundred subsites in the under the site collection, then it will searching 100 folders inside, right? But now not like that. You can able to everything is the top level. You can easily connect and bring the data faster. That's a main difference happen in modern experience when your modern SPF is introduced. Let's look like this. That's I think this is a Microsoft slide I can sharing here. Let's say when you everything is ready, then the dynamically ever changing digital workplace, it's complete as a upside. That's the half size model. This is the biggest change after modern experience index. First 2001, 2, 3, 7, 10, 13. The 13 we have a biggest changes integrated with Office 365. After integrated, people need to move, right? That time 2016 introduced the same time we have a hub sites are introduced. People can use common logos, styles, themes, everything with the hub site using hub site and mapping with the related sites and able to use it like this. We can able to quick example like hub site, team sites and come. Before that, we have a different templates of sites, huge number of templates of sites we can create. Whatever you like, you can create a site definition, you able to. Now, Microsoft bring a two type of different sites. What's the purpose of this? When you say sub-site, we have a two sites, right? We have a team site or communication already. They are bringing the reason is team site is whenever you are creating a team in Microsoft Team. Now Microsoft Teams also introduced, right? That site it will create under the team site model, that template. Communication site is a publishing site. When you March 2007 introduced, they have a publishing site, right? That site, when you are introducing that Microsoft using the communication site, whatever people are coming from publishing side, then they can start using of communication side. Who are using a traditional team side, managing list and libraries and everything, they started using team side. They Microsoft also used that Microsoft Teams. Same time again, one more thing, biggest change is Microsoft Graph. What is the difference with Microsoft Graph and the previous version of SharePoint groups? Because SharePoint groups only support SharePoint groups, SharePoint itself. Microsoft groups, right? Microsoft groups introduce, we can able to access same user group with Teams, Dell, or your M365, or your Yammer, like that huge number, 19 endpoints are there, or everywhere you can use the same set of groups. Though you can reuse your group, that's called Microsoft groups. They introduce because of Teams, they can have a usage more. Then the same thing we use in SharePoint also. That's a biggest change in the happened there. Okay. Then in coming to SharePoint framework, in 2017, 16 last itself they started. I worked with Microsoft. That's I still remember the days. We contributed huge with SharePoint framework before the release. Okay, that is a modern workspace, lightweight web part. That's how they introduced with the graph everything, right? That's a version started. You can able to see we started with August 2016. We have a drop one, drop two, drop three, drop four, drop five, drop six. The another big thing is this is a open source. Microsoft first introduced open source is SharePoint framework. After that, they introduced with the .NET and everything. But before that, SPFS is the first version they introduced to the open source. Okay, in August 2016, I will still remember I worked with the drops also. And that means not using the drops. I worked the real development. My contribution is also there. That time we developed it, all the Microsoft developed the versions. Once they feel that okay, that's all everything fine, then they started with the general availability. That has happened is February 2017. Okay, I forgot to enter the dates here. February 2017, they introduced first version of general availability of SharePoint framework. Right now is 1.22.2, right? It's something like 22 versions are there. Okay, but they're still using version 1. I'm not sure what's the main reason. It's not getting any version 2. Always is the same version, but different changes, right? Every version have a new options. 1.4, they have a Teams integration. They started the team Teams were part with 1.4. Up to that, no Teams integration. Before that, then we have see 1.13, I think so. They have a Viva integration, like that, everything. Likewise, every stage they integrate. Now the agents also they are planning to integrate. Let's say when you the SP switch version, right? The SharePoint at that time is a new development model, building the SharePoint customization. Um, that's the main thing is before that, we able to use all the web parts which were server side, no client side web parts. People started using JavaScript and put the existing content web part and make it web parts inside the Office 365. Okay. Before 2017, 3, 4 years, only we use JavaScript. Before React, that time no React. We have a backbone, we have a handler. Like that, we have a different Microsoft libraries are there. We use that. Then Node introduced, Microsoft introduced with Node. The same time React introduced for Facebook, right? Let's say we can use the React. Then people are using some more people are using Angular. Like that, you can able to start it with this one. When you started with the first version of SharePoint framework, we have a templates like use React or handler bar. Okay, like that. We have then nowadays I think handler is remote, which React only is there. Okay, because of development. That's why which one is best. They are considered this is the usage is more. We can go with that. Like that, they can move to the history of SharePoint framework. How to compare with the olden days? Who are worked with the .NET versions, right? They know that .NET is how it will work and how it will build and how what's the language we use. Microsoft give a good option to comparison with the server side. Same concept they used in SharePoint framework development because of Visual Studio. Instead of Visual Studio, they use Visual Studio Code with the YAML. Then C Sharp, they use TypeScript. Okay, the base language is TypeScript. Above that, we can use React or whatever it is. But base is TypeScript. What is the build is Gulf. Now Gulf also changed. Now is that also changed, right? Microsoft framework they changed that idea to build differently. Then the NVM and Node. Node introduced. Something like a same format, same criteria they bring like a application. So not like a simply writing a JavaScript and put it. When you are writing a JavaScript, someone able to view source and able to get the code, right? That's a code. If you have any critical or any challenges, then biggest challenge are that. Then after that, when you introduce Node, you can able to build everything. Then it will publish as a JavaScript and it will convert to JavaScript and it will getting better performance and everything. And Microsoft introduced a lot of other stuff also in that together make it better in SPFX. This is the change happened hugely. Nowadays, still we are using that same SharePoint framework. Now the server side also removed much, and we have in the server side application also people are started using SPFX, right? Both having as client side parts. Advantage of server side to client because client side deployment is easy, and then we can able to do the work faster as well as the performance of our application also faster compared to server side. Server side, we can use handler to do one by one. Like a lot of challenges there because of everything goes to server and get the data. But when you introduce with the client side tools, the better thing is the UI will not change when you are sending a input. Whatever response received, with that response only will do the change in the place, right? It will not affect. That's the benefit of client side. Now that's a big change, right? Because we are moved from 21 to 23, 22, 7, then 2010, then 2013 with Office 365, then 2016. From there, we have Office 365 vast difference with the SPFX teams introducing. Then we have a Viva, and then it is all content management. We have used huge number of contents are there because I told that MCMS integrated with Master Survive. MCMS is the content management system, real content management. That's already integrated with SharePoint. It's long back. That's the reason we are using huge number of pages and everything. In 2003, he is having a list and libraries only, no pages. That's the reason they introduced the MCMS inside that. Then they have a pages and everything, right? Now we are using pages, publishing pages like communication side and a lot of stuff. We can easily change your color and everything. Only thing is before that we have a master pages, site templates, everything. What is master page is nothing but we can able to update your UI design with without any disturbance with the application with everywhere you can change. That's a master page. Like nowadays we're using the UI, right? When you go for UI, what to do? The bootstrap is implemented every page with a style, right? Right ways we can use. In the SPFS also we do the coloring and everything, but that's it. Big thing is we want to change anything in the header, footer, everything. We have a extension in SPFS, right? Before that, we in on premises and all we can do we have our own coding and change the header, footer, everything. But on Office 365, we can go with the extension. That's a change in the SPFS model. Okay. And finally, right now we are in AI mode. Everyone in talking about AI. What is AI? What's the big thing in AI, right? Are we talking about SharePoint and agents? Now, why we talking about SharePoint and agents? Because we can able to use SharePoint in our day-to-day activity, right? We are using SharePoint from different scenarios like contents are available huge. We want to take as data and you can process it. You want to be make it some search or everything we can do. That's all happen from agents, right? What is agents? Is a Copilot Studio or a Microsoft Foundry or your own code using OpenAI with Python like that, right? Whatever you're doing, we need to think about SharePoint because of SharePoint every year, right? Stuff now, I believe 80 to 90% of organization using SharePoint. So without SharePoint using is very less. That's the reason still SharePoint in market. After 25 years of journey, still SharePoint is in market with a successful mode. It's not like people are using SharePoint, not like that. Without SharePoint, we are unable to move because of this integrated with Teams, integrated with your Copilot Studio, Power Apps applications. Where Power Apps also migrated from info platforms, right? That also coming with SharePoint only. SharePoint in 2007, 3 onwards, sorry, 2007 onwards, Microsoft introduced info platforms that after 2016 they introduced the Power Apps. How the same info platform we need to migrate the apps and easy to use later, right? Because of Power Apps, now we can able to connect huge number of data sources, not like info platform. Info platforms, we can able to connect only one data source is SharePoint. But when you coming to Power Apps, not like that, right? We can n number of database sources we can connect and use it whatever your business case. Because every business case unique, you can able to work on like that, right? When you coming to know the conversation, now we are coming with the agents. What is the agent? When you coming to agent, we can always talk about any questions are there? When you are user talking, okay, let's say yeah. When you coming where the conversation begins. For example, I'm typing something. Normally, what we feel text mention, okay, what's up? Then send test message to mention this is success like that, right? This is a standard conversation we feel. But internally, how it will work in M365, whatever you're talking with Copilot or what, so how it data is taking from your entry. Okay. When you start, that's the main thing you need to understand. That when you are using agents, you need to know how the security and things are going on. Okay. Is Mason recognized? Is your contacts available or not? Yes or no, it will verify. If it's not available, then user input required, like it request your phone number, email ID to make yourself available. Then otherwise, does this contact have a mobile number? Yes or no, like that it will verify. Because we need to validate the user. Everything happen in the background, right? After that, finally it will give the success story. Okay, that's a way it will run. The middle is a hard part. It's not easy. These all happen in your AA. After introducing AA, that's the biggest advantage is the loop and corner. It will understand in reading, right? Whatever we are using any models, it will background. It will identify the data faster and easily, right? That's the reason. When you coming to Copilot, okay, we have a different type of Copilots are available, right? When you go with the M365, we have a Microsoft Copilot extend option. And we have M365 like means where it's like just I can open something. I can say where. Okay. For example, draft with Copilot, like that we can use Copilot, right? This is enriched by Copilot. From there, we need to extend. Before that, we have the option to extend Office add-ons for using SPFs also, right? Like these all the add-ons, right? We can able to use add-ons and we can able to extend. Same now after Copilot introduced, we have option to extend the Copilot also. We can do what you like using Copilot Studio and extend it. That's another biggest option for all our developers. Okay, when you come to Copilot, we are able to do email everything. So end user point of view, you can also use. When you coming to extension, what is extending the Microsoft Copilot? Using Copilot Studio, we can able to extend it. This other thing is your own Copilot Studio. Okay, whatever your Copilot you can create, develop that part. We create using your Copilot Studio. That's the Microsoft Copilot Studio, and we can able to use Teams toolkit for Visual Studio Code. That's nothing but whatever we develop in SPFS, right? The same thing we can able to do faster using the toolkit. We have Teams AI library we can integrate, and we have another thing is Azure AI Boundary. Now, not now. His name changed. Microsoft Factory. Okay, sorry, Foundry. Microsoft Foundry. Okay. This is the new name for IA Studio. These are the things are happening now. Microsoft IA Studio, everything. Okay. Let's say if you are using Microsoft Foundry or everything, you can able to use. Okay. Just I'll show you some of the things in Copilot. Just you can use for simple things using it SharePoint. Okay. We go for Copilot Studio for Microsoft. The journey see how people are adding in content and publishing the data. Everything is happen in the previous sessions and using web part, everything. Just on the trail hours. What happened with the ID? 1 second. Okay. Now we can see this. This here, when you have a two agents to go, right? When you go here, we can see one option called Microsoft the Microsoft 365. That is extending a Copilot Microsoft. It is whatever you're doing here, it will available in your Word, Excel, or your Notepad or whatever it is. We can able to get from here. Okay, whatever apps you are deploying, everything it will be available here. And we have a free version of Copilot using Windows itself. Then we have a Copilot for sales. That's also extend. Other things are your own Copilot. I hope everyone know about Copilot, read about it, and develop it. We have a integrate with the flow. Flows means nothing but Power Automate. Whatever Power Automate available, it's available here also. You can able to write the flow, how you want to work your application, everything you can write and develop it. Okay. It will, for example, I'm opening this one. You can conversation start that. When you go with the designer, you can able to see when you set a variable or whatever. It's a purely a flow, right? You can able to bring inside your agent. For example, I'm going here, agent. Can able to contact the agent from that. Okay, we can able to connect. For example, tools. We have a different option, right? Tools, topics. This is a topic. From the topic, you can able to add the flows. Okay, inside the item, we right here, we view flow details. We can able to bring in. Okay, likewise, you can able to directly go back to the flow. Okay. Likewise, we can able to work on the Copilot Studio, right? So just I can do one example with our SharePoint. Okay, let's say going back, I'm creating a new agent. Okay, let's say create a blank agent. We have a advanced create or whatever you like, you can able to do. I'll create a blank agent. How easy and faster using Copilot Studio. But Copilot Studio have a lot of things newly introduced with the version everything. Here you can see previously we have only ChatGPT available. Okay. Now so ChatGPT 4.0 is the default. Preview is 5. Another 5 auto is preview. Reasoning is preview. Whatever item you can able to. Another good thing is it started using Claude. Okay, that's the biggest advantage, right? When we are previously, Copilot Studio only supporting with the ChatGPT. Now they started using other things also. Okay, RL fine also they are using a experimental. But main thing when you coming to for example, I'm going to MS Microsoft Foundry. For example, I'm going to Microsoft Foundry. This is also same part, right? Whatever you are doing, the same there also here also same. Okay, the Foundry part when you coming to for example, I'm creating a new Foundry. Here, what is the different is you can able to create all the steps and everything. Once I'll take another Foundry here. Maybe I remove them. Okay. I'll show you one because something like developer environment, you remove it. All resources, create a new foundry, create a resource or everything you can start. Only I can go and create a new one. Okay. New foundry, J4, whatever existing website reference, resources or whatever it you can say. Name is demo SP 25, right? Then we have project default name, you can say ESP 25, right. Next, everyone it's creating as a creating the resource. From there, we can be able to create the fountain because we need a resource. Same way, here if you want to connect a SharePoint, we need a SharePoint Copilot and everything we require. When you coming to Copilot Studio, not like that, we can able to create directly knowledge. Okay, just I'm going multiple things. Don't worry about it because so Copilot Studio is a you low code solution without writing everything you can able to do. For Foundry also, we have to do able to do something like that, but we can able to use huge number of coding part with the Python and everything you can introduce. Advantage of M3 Microsoft Foundry, it will support any models, not only with the because here you found that right only set of models are supported, right? More than that, it's not support. You can't add another things. But in the knowledge, you can say, for example, adding a SharePoint. Okay, let's say I'm adding my SharePoint. Browse SharePoint is my SharePoint, any one of it. For example, I use tech page, some part, document requirements. Can use this one and confirm solution. Add agent. Is immediately is processing the data. Okay. Now we can go and do it. I say hi. It normally whatever standard things. Right? These kind of things are coming from the topic only. It will can able to use whatever start over topic is like that. Welcome to whatever hi everything coming in. It will say let's carry on or once again start over greetings. This is whatever it now we saw that hi everything is coming from the greetings. How can I help you today? This is happened from here. Right? Likewise, it will come when you coming to the knowledge. We added this knowledge. Okay, whatever the requirements available is ready. Status is ready. Is official source or you need to decide whatever you want. Okay, then I can say it's a requirement, right? Share. Just I typing something. It bring because we not don't take much time to do or any process or any learning time and everything, right? You can see bringing all the data. What are the requirement document is bringing here and you can getting the source and data, everything from there. Based on your queries, it will you want to filter out. Okay, I can say list out all type claim. Because it's a knowledge, right? Immediately it will bring you all the data. So this is the original thing. Output sheet for platform only for the particular document it will reading and bringing. What is this? This is using this one with this chat GPT and everything. When you go for a Foundry, there also you can able to create a Foundry and you can able to map your SharePoint. Okay, there's a SharePoint now. Other than that, these all the things are coming from the customized as a developer. Microsoft providing one more option is they can say There itself, they providing the agent, right? Here you can say, okay, go to Foundry portal. This is nothing but AI Studio. Okay, this whatever we are talking about Foundry portal is nothing but named at aa.azure.com, right? AI Studio previously is that. Start building with this one. If you say so compatible new projects, have some other project or whatever is selected, right? And let's go. Okay, it's just
Hi, Jenkins. Sorry to disturb, but yeah, last 5 minutes.
yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay, now we are say whenever you're coming with the starter, right? Whatever you want to do, a quick start like that, or you can go with the new fund and just remove it and with the feedback and or whatever it is. You can do here. Okay, here this thing is the olden view. New is really good. You can both you can understand. Okay, let's say you can go to model and like just I'll show the models and we have a time concern, right? We can close. Okay, we can deploy with the base or your whatever you're saying. Here you can able to select the models. Okay, what's the difference with that one and his? In my Microsoft Foundry, right now Microsoft supporting 11,306 models, not the one or two models. Here in Copilot Studio, it's supporting around six models, right? Six with the same ChatGPT we have itself. We have one, two, three, four, five, for four. Then we have another three. Four plus six, seven models are there. Okay. When you come in here, you have 11,000 models are there. We can able to add. The default is 157, but you can able to add whatever model you were introduced. See, 5.1 ChatGPTs. Then we have a O3 computer use. Like that, we have huge number of models. Okay, for example, you can say Cloud Sonnets, opens like that. We have different things. If you want a GPT 5.3, GPT audio, and if you want to use some language models, you can also build and deploy here. Okay, that's a different languaging model, reasoning. Like that, we can huge number of models we can try. As of now, in my knowledge, is 11,303 models are used by Microsoft Foundry. You can able to add, okay, your own models, you can able to add. That's the advantage of developments in Microsoft Foundry, A Studio. Okay. The Copilot Studio, you have a restriction, but it's a low code solution. Within a minute, you can add it. Here also, we can able to add, but everything configurable. Everything you need to do with the Azure um, app registration, everything. Okay. Whenever you're adding any data, everything, we need to go here. We can able to add the managing vendor. We can save here. We can able to add this project itself. We can able to add new users or new connections. Here you can able to add SharePoint also. Okay. When you go SharePoint, we can use the site, whatever the connections you need to add, then only it will connect. So purely a configurable, controllable, and you can able to say these are the things will happen, everything that are not like that. We can add whatever. That's the reason low code solution and your own control. You can add your coding and do all the stuff. That's the benefit of Microsoft Foundry. The other thing is when you go for SharePoint, right? When you go, I'll go from here. One second. We'll go sign in. It'll take 2 minutes. Just I'll go close. Um, in Now, the biggest thing we are talking about SharePoint, right? How they evaporated, right? It's all that we can support that development, everything. But when you coming to SharePoint, when you go for apps in SharePoint, the thing is, Microsoft SharePoint is introduced the agent itself inside the SharePoint also, right? When you go for any one of your portal, and you can able to create your SharePoint agent, right? When you want to create any agent, also it support. Okay, then you go here, you can see you talk about whatever you like to search. For example, I'm in the documents page, or any document or sites, and then whatever you want to discuss, you can do from here itself. And also you have another option to create your own agents and deploy here. These are the way we can able to improve, right? We can say here, for example, I'm here in the documents, I can say get LMS 20 points. Something I can type, I'm not sure. It will understand whatever it will bring, basically. The same, whatever we doing in the Copilot Studio and everything, SharePoint itself, we have a option to do the agent. But whenever your customized option we record, you can do. See, it's comprehensive learning, rich, interactive content, storing, because these are documents coming from here. Okay, it's bringing there. Okay. You're able to see the last, see the document name, it's available here. Whatever the document it will bring, it can show you from there. Okay. That's a way it will bringing the data. Okay, you understand, right? How we you can easily adapt, because right now we have 90% of customer using online, not on-premise is very limited because of some domains, some customers not ready to move, but still SharePoint is very secure and we can bring from very low level document like site server to publishing sites, then MCMS, list libraries, everything, then MCMS integration, then UI changes, then framework changes, and then we have apps coming in hybrid model to Office 365, then SPFX introduced with the open source web development. Then we have a huge change with Viva integrations, then agent integration. Now everything, every gradual changing. Microsoft bringing SharePoint also growing, right? That's a SharePoint is still growing with 25 years. That's the first application which I believe. Other things like a database, Oracle, SQL, so that's fine because pure database, right? SharePoint is a portal. Portal, most of the portals are gone. Whatever we talked about in 2003, 2005, like that in the year, that's all nowadays not available. Okay. That's a bit, we are moving to the SharePoint part. Okay. Now I'm completing it. Waste time up. Uh, Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions, please raise here. I will discuss, or we can discuss later also. We can, whenever you have time, we can raise. Now we can have any question, raise here itself.
Thank you, Jenkins. If anyone has any question, please type it out in the chat window. And I think Jenkins would be here for 5-10 more minutes and he can answer those questions. Thank you, Jenkins, once again. I would like to stop the recording and then I will ask. So our next